3 extra income ideas that actually work in 2026. You're already losing money. If you tried to build extra income recently and nothing really worked, you're looking at the wrong problem. The issue is not effort, not discipline, and not even the idea you chose. The real issue is that you were operating inside a structure designed to keep you busy, not profitable. Every day, money is moving around you, but most of it never reaches you. Not because you are incapable, but because you are positioned at the lowest level of the system, where effort is extracted and value is captured by someone else. Think about this carefully. You open your phone, you consume content, you get ideas, you feel motivated, you try something, and after a few weeks you stop. That cycle is not random, it is engineered. Your attention is being used to feed systems that generate income for people who are not working harder than you. They are simply operating at a different level. While you are trying to earn more, they are controlling how money flows. This is where most people get it wrong. They believe extra income comes from finding the right opportunity. In reality, extra income comes from understanding where you are positioned in the system and how to move out of low-leverage environments. If you stay in the wrong layer, every strategy will feel slow, frustrating, and limited. If you shift layers, the same effort starts producing completely different results. And once you see this, you cannot go back to thinking in terms of side hustles. You start seeing structures, leverage, and control. That is where everything changes. There are only 3 ways money is made in 2026. Forget everything you have been told about extra income ideas. The market is not divided by jobs, niches, or opportunities. It is divided by layers of control. And once you understand this, you stop chasing options and start positioning yourself. There are only 3 ways money is made today. Not 10, not 50. 3. The first is where most people live. You sell your time, your execution, your skills. This is the layer where effort is directly tied to income. You work, you get paid. You stop, the income stops. It feels productive, it feels real, but it has a hard ceiling. This is where competition is highest and margins are lowest. The second layer is where things start to shift. You are no longer just doing the work, you are controlling distribution. You are in front of attention. You influence decisions. You connect products to people. Here, income is no longer limited by your hours, but by how well you position and move traffic. This is where leverage begins. The third layer is where very few operate. This is where systems are built. Products, platforms, mechanisms that continue generating income whether you are actively working or not. At this level, you are not participating in the game. You are designing it. Money flows through structures you control. Every extra income idea you have ever seen fits into one of these 3 layers. The difference is not what you do, it is where you are positioned when you do it. And most people never question this. They just move horizontally, trying new ideas inside the same low-leverage layer, wondering why nothing scales. Now that you see the structure, the next step is uncomfortable. Because the first idea I'm going to show you is exactly where most people start, and also where they unknowingly trap themselves. The trap most people call extra income. This is where almost everyone begins. Freelancing, AI services, quick gigs, small digital tasks. You offer something, someone pays you, and it feels like progress. And to be precise, it does work. People are making money here every day. You can use AI to write content, design, automate tasks, manage accounts, build simple funnels. There is demand, there is speed, and there is cash flow. That is exactly why it is so attractive. But look deeper. What you are actually doing is renting your time in a more efficient way. Instead of one employer, you now have multiple clients. Instead of a fixed salary, you have variable income. It feels like freedom, but the structure has not changed. You are still trading execution for money. The only difference is that the tools are faster. Now here is where the trap tightens. AI is lowering the barrier to entry. What you can do, thousands of others can do within days. That means competition increases, prices drop, and clients become less loyal. You are constantly replacing yourself. Every new skill you learn gives you a temporary advantage, but the system quickly absorbs it and resets the playing field. This creates a hidden ceiling. You can work more, you can stack more clients, you can optimize your process, But your income is still limited by your capacity, and eventually you hit a point where growth requires more time, more pressure, and more instability. That is not leverage, that is controlled exhaustion. This is where 90% of people stay, not because it does not work, but because it works just enough to keep them there. It pays, but it does not scale. It gives movement, but not progression. Now the shift starts when you ask a different question, not how to do more work, but how to stop being the one doing the work. Because the real game is not about what you sell, it is about where attention flows and who controls it. Pattern interrupt. The real game is not what you sell. At this point, most people think the solution is to improve what they offer. Better service, better quality, better results. That feels logical. It feels like growth, but it keeps you inside the same layer. Here is the shift that changes everything. Money does not follow effort. It follows attention and positioning. Look at how decisions are actually made. People do not buy the best option. They buy the option they see, the one they trust, the one that is placed in front of them at the right moment. That means the person who controls visibility has more power than the person who does the work. This is why someone with average skills but strong distribution can outperform someone highly skilled with no audience. One is competing on execution, the other is controlling demand, and demand is where money concentrates. Once you understand this, the game stops being about doing more. It becomes about being seen in the right place by the right people at the right time. That is leverage, because attention scales in a way effort never will. This is where the second layer begins, and this is where income starts to detach from time. Income without ownership, but with control. This is where things start to change in a way most people underestimate. You are no longer trying to be the one doing the work. You are positioning yourself where attention already exists and redirecting it. You do not need to own the product. You need to control the path between interest and decision. Look at what is happening right now. Faceless channels generating millions of views, niche pages capturing highly specific audiences, short-form content driving traffic into offers that were not created by the person posting. This is not content creation for entertainment. This is distribution engineering. The mechanism is simple, but the impact is not. You create or curate content designed to attract a specific type of attention. That attention is not random. It is aligned with intent. Then you redirect that attention towards something that converts. It can be an affiliate offer, a digital product, a service, a funnel. You are not selling directly. You are guiding decisions. This changes the economics completely. You are no longer limited by how many hours you can work. One piece of content can reach thousands, sometimes millions, without additional effort. And when you build this consistently, you start creating predictable flows of traffic. Traffic becomes your asset, even if you do not own the product. Now here is the part most people miss. This layer compounds. The more you understand your audience, the more precise your content becomes. The more precise your content becomes, the higher your conversion. And over time, small improvements multiply into disproportionate results. But there is still a limitation. You are controlling the flow, but you are not owning the system behind it. You depend on platforms, algorithms, and external offers. It is leverage, but not full control. And this is where the gap starts to open, because the next layer removes that dependency. Escalation. This is where the gap explodes. At this point, most people feel like they have figured it out. They are generating traffic, making commissions, seeing results that were impossible in the first layer. And this is exactly where many stop. Not because they reached the top, but because the system finally started rewarding them enough to feel comfortable. But look closely at what is still happening. You are building on platforms you do not control. Your traffic can disappear with a change in the algorithm. Your offers can be replaced overnight. Your income is still tied to environments that you do not own. You improved your position, but you are still inside someone else's system. This is where the separation begins. Most people stabilize here. A smaller group starts asking a different question. Not how to get more traffic, but how to stop depending on where that traffic goes. Because real leverage is not just controlling attention, it is deciding what happens after the attention arrives. This is the moment where income stops being reactive and starts becoming intentional. Instead of adapting to opportunities, you start designing them. Instead of sending people to someone else's system, you create the system itself. And this is why the gap explodes. The difference between controlling traffic and owning the system behind it is not incremental. It is exponential. One is participation. The other is architecture. The next layer is where that architecture is built, and this is where income behaves differently. System-level income, where real money is built. This is where the model changes completely. You are no longer selling time, and you are no longer just moving traffic. You are building something that captures both. A system that takes attention, processes it, and converts it into income without requiring you to be present every time a transaction happens. This can take different forms. A simple digital product that solves a specific problem and is distributed through content you control. A micro software that automates a task people are already paying for. A funnel that takes cold attention, educates, builds trust, and converts at scale. The format is not what matters. The structure is. What matters is that the system works independently of your direct effort. You design the inputs, the path, and the conversion point. Once it is working, every piece of traffic you generate or redirect has somewhere to go that you fully control. No dependency on someone else's offer. No reliance on a single platform. You own the mechanism that produces the outcome. Now here is the trade-off that most people avoid. This layer is slower at the beginning. It requires thinking, testing, adjusting, and sometimes failing without immediate reward. There is no instant validation. That is why most people never reach it. They choose speed over structure. But once it works, the behavior of income changes. You are no longer increasing effort to increase revenue. You are increasing efficiency of the system. Small improvements in conversion, positioning, or traffic quality create disproportionate results. This is asymmetry. This is where a system built once can generate returns repeatedly. And this is why some people appear to make money with less visible effort. They are not working less. They are working at a different level of the system. Reality check. The trade-off. No one tells you. At this point, it is easy to look at the third layer and think that is the obvious choice. More control, more leverage, more potential. But this is where most people make a critical mistake. They ignore the trade-offs and jump into something they are not structurally prepared to sustain. Each layer exists for a reason. The first layer gives you speed. You can generate cash quickly, validate demand, and understand how money actually flows in the market. The second layer gives you leverage. You learn how to capture attention, influence decisions, and create scalable entry points for income. The third layer gives you ownership. You build systems that convert and compound. But you cannot skip understanding the mechanics of one layer and expect to dominate the next. If you never learned how to generate income directly, your system will not convert. If you never learned how to control attention, your product will not reach anyone. This is why so many people build things that never sell. The real decision is not which layer is better. The real decision is which trade-off you are willing to accept right now. Fast income with no leverage, scalable income with external dependency, or slow building systems with exponential potential. You do not choose what is easier. You choose what compounds. And most people choose what feels immediate, even if it keeps them stuck. Now the question becomes practical. How do you move through these layers without wasting time, without starting over, and without getting trapped again? How to actually start without wasting time. You do not start by choosing the best idea. You start by placing yourself correctly inside the system and moving with intention. Most people waste months jumping between opportunities because they try to begin at the end. They want leverage before they understand flow. They want systems before they understand conversion. The correct move is sequence. You enter through the first layer with a clear objective, not to stay there, but to generate immediate cash and understand how value is exchanged. You learn what people pay for, how decisions are made, and what actually converts. You are not building a career here. You are extracting information and capital. Then you shift to the second layer. You stop being the one executing and start positioning yourself where attention exists. You build channels, pages, or distribution points that attract a specific type of audience. You test messaging, refine targeting, and learn how to move traffic with precision. This is where you start seeing leverage. Your time is no longer the bottleneck. Then you move to the third layer with intention. You take everything you learned about demand and attention and build a system around it. A product, a funnel, a mechanism that captures value consistently. Now every piece of traffic you generate has a destination you control. This is where income starts compounding. The mistake is trying to perfect one layer without transitioning. The goal is progression. Each layer feeds the next. Cash funds distribution. Distribution feeds systems. Systems create freedom. And once you understand this sequence, you stop chasing opportunities and start building positioning. You're already in the system. At this point, the illusion should be gone. Extra income is not about finding something new. It is about seeing where you already are and deciding whether you stay there. Right now, you are inside one of these layers. You are either trading time, moving attention, or building something that captures both. The system is already shaping how you make money. Every platform you use, every piece of content you consume, every decision you make is pushing you deeper into a specific position. The difference is that most people never stop to question it. They keep searching for better ideas while staying in the same structure. And that is why nothing changes. Not because they lack effort, but because they never change layers. Now you have a different perspective. You can see the game behind the game. You can identify where money is being extracted and where it is being controlled. And more importantly, you can decide how to move. The next step is not learning more. It is applying what you just understood. Start where you are, but do not stay there. Move with intention, build with awareness, shift layers. Because once you understand how the system works, staying in the wrong position is no longer a mistake. It is a choice.